Welcome, headbangers, to the Metal Block. Here is your host, Eric.
Oh, my timing was bad. It was like a little. I hit it a little bit too late. That's why we clicked on and clicked back off. What's up, everyone? Episode 9 of the Metal Block. I got the mother of demons, Lilith Bathory, formerly of Luna 13. Who's formerly now, or I guess now they're formerly Luna 13 and going on with something else, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So how you been? What's going on with you?
I've been all right. Just spending most of my time trying to survive, rebuild, and take care of the little fur demons.
Yeah. So when I first learned about you, like I had you on I followed you on Instagram, maybe I think it was last year or something. I just remember coming across like some of your photos and I didn't know you were in a band. I just thought, wow, this is a pretty badass looking chick, artistic. I mean, the artistry that you're putting into your look, with the horns and just the makeup and just like, I just figured like you were like an influencer that, had like a big, following and stuff, And then I forgot how I learned about Luna 13. It might have been from my former drummer Tony. He's like my brother, from Willow Wisp, and I think he mentioned Luna 13. I guess he said he was playing with Luna 13 at the whiskey, right? And then so then I looked up you guys on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that's that same chick. That's her. Okay, so she's in a band, And I started getting into the music a little bit, and then later on after that, so that's when. You started posting all this stuff that was going down, and the crazy stuff. We might as well address the elephant in the room. What happened?
Yep. Well, there was supposed to be, like an international tour, like more touring, because there's been a lot of touring over the years. We're supposed to hit more of the East Coast and all that good stuff. But as I was packed and ready to go and asking about like, hey, ETA time, where are you? And all that kind of stuff. Turns out that my former bandmate was already on tour, taking that tour from Luna 13. And giving it to his new projects.
I see. So in other words, he basically pulled the rug out from under you without no heads up or nothing. It's like to be able to just take the band from one band to another, and it just basically just put a new name on it. Basically, you think?
Yeah. Actually, those pages that have the other band's name on it now. All of that, all the followers that it used to have, all that kind of stuff, used to all be Luna 13. He basically just copied and pasted the new band all over Luna 13 stuff. And I also noticed...
Okay.
Oh, gosh, what a dirty, shady move. But there are some tours on that page that Luna 13 already did.
Okay.
That he decided to copy and paste the new band onto as if that band had done them.
Oh, really? Damn. Wow. He's basically doing what Kiss did back in the day with Ace Frehley and Vinnie Vincent, like how they like Vinnie Vincent played on the album, but they just used Ace's face on the album cover or whatever. I don't know if you're a Kiss fan or not, but that just kind of reminds me of that kind of.
I've heard quite a bit about that. Yeah. I do try to keep up with a lot of music history and everything, but. He pretty much copied and pasted the new band onto absolutely everything that Luna 13 did.
Damn. And so what was the sort of like when this sort of broke out? Like obviously Luna 13 had probably a big following, I would imagine, right? You guys toured a lot and you had quite a bit of an audience, and you especially. What was the fans talking about, or what was their reaction to it? Like when they found out, like.
Man, I even had venues contacting me, confused. I had people who had been following the band for years, absolutely confused and asking questions, wondering what's going on. Like
They probably felt like it was like a bait and switch. You know what I mean? Like we think we're getting, Lilith Bathory, because obviously you put on an amazing show with, I mean, you're like the show. I
Thank
mean,
you.
not only are not only a great singer, like the vocals that you do, obviously, and I think you say you write your own lyrics, right? Or you write most of the
Yes.
lyrics? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
all of the lyrics that I did with my voice are all written by me.
Yeah, you're the front woman. You're the main. Okay, I like to compare it to like when I was thinking about this earlier. Like there's a from the '70s. We're talking about music history. There was a band called or a group called Captain and Tennille. They're like a pop group or whatever. You have the captain. He was I think they were husband and wife or whatever. But he was always the guy that was like he wrote all the music mostly, but he was the kind of guy that nobody really cared to see, even though like he had kind of that image or whatever. But everyone went to see Tennille, and like she was the star, and he always felt like kind of like the peon in a way. And I kind of feel like this guy's kind of like the peon in a sense of people went to see you.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
what I get when I see the videos, like the live videos. I just feel like you're the one that's putting on the show and drawing the crowd. So I can imagine like fans showing up and then they don't see you, or like even like the venues, like you said, the bookers and stuff like that are like feeling like, wow, what is this,
yeah. I had a few send me messages asking like, so yeah, what's going on? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, we were never married.
Hmm.
We were like, I guess, in a relationship
Yeah.
that broke off like 2 years before this all went down.
Yeah.
And like I guess he just really wasn't getting the hint.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this new project he has is his new person and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to just stay out of that, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I blocked it right away so that because like it's none of my business what another band does.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that that band stole everything that Luna 13 did. That like I mean that's near a decade of my work, my art, my.
And it's always been a duo, right? Like there's always been just him and like so before Luna 13, like were you in a band before that or anything, or what were you doing before Luna 13?
Actually, before Luna 13, I was like I had finished my phlebotomy certification, and
Oh yeah.
before that, like I was just like well I wasn't in any like I guess rock bands or anything like that.
Right.
I was an orchestra student. I mean,
Okay.
I got to California State Honor Band, but like
Oh, cool.
like I got into like dance and played orchestra and
Okay.
all that kind of stuff. But
So you're an accomplished musician in a sense.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, still very much a musician. Yet
Yeah.
the whole rock
At
and
that
roll world
at,
was.
yeah,
When
at
I
that time
joined
did you have aspirations to be in a band at all or anything, or like was it?
I always thought it would be really cool. Like I
Mhm.
used to love listening to so many different artists and getting inspired by like Angela Gossow and like
Okay.
OTEP and like
Yeah.
I would just really love like enjoying all of that. But like I never really thought
Hmm.
it never really occurred to me that I could do that sort of thing. I mean, I was
Yeah.
originally, for the most part, a clarinet player. I mean, I played violin, a little bit of piano and stuff like
Okay.
that here, and some other instruments here and there. But like the whole vocalist thing, I learned after volunteering in a year-round haunted house for a while.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
playing
cool.
with my screams and all that.
Yeah. So that's how you got the gutturals and stuff. Cool. And I noticed that like a lot of like I remember back like maybe 20 years ago, it was very rare to see a female singer singing that style of vocals. But now you got like thrash, a lot of great thrash female vocalists, like the girls in Nervosa, Crypta, black metal band Osagram, which is all female black metal band, and they're fucking blowing guys away mostly. It's like. And I myself like didn't really learn guttural until like maybe I don't know, maybe mid '90s, because Tony would always do it like in the band. He would always do the ooh like type low, really low stuff. And then I got kind of where I was trying to learn how to do it, but at the beginning he would always make fun of me and say, "Oh, you sound like Marge Simpson" or whatever. That would make me like all self conscious, and then then it got to a point where I was actually able to kind of do I guess somewhat okay, and I think it's more like in the Danny Filth style, like kind of high style or whatever. But
Nice.
but I also didn't want to do that many because I was afraid I was going to mess up my clean voice. Going from clean voice to the guttural. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, can you sing regular, normal, like clean vocals too, or?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
actually there's even like bits of it here and there throughout, especially more of the more recent Luna 13 songs.
Okay, yeah. I've got to delve into your
There was
catalog.
one that was supposed to be put out while I was still in Luna 13 recently, called Monroe of the Dead Resurrected.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, that got released after the whole everything went down.
Yeah.
And so they had already put the other band's name over the pages and everything like that. I'm like, whatever you do, don't pretend that y'all made that. Like, no, that's my voice.
Does this guy have like a history of doing that, or was he always like was?
They're new.
Okay.
They actually tried to convince me to join them in some form of a 3-piece so that they could get onto a label.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
Because Luna 13, did you say that it was Luna 13 on Cleopatra Records?
Yes.
And then what happened, like, after this whole thing went down? Are they still on Cleopatra as a new band, or is it, like, what are they doing?
They're not on a label.
Okay, so what's the label even saying? Like, what did Cleopatra say about this whole thing? Or?
I tried to talk to them about it, yet, there was, this whole, like, apparently, like, I would have to, get my former bandmate / abuser into the email, or else they wouldn't even respond further. And so I'm like, well, I'm on the contract. Shouldn't I have, an equal say in things? Or like at least be able to just, come in and talk, or talk on the phone or something.
Yeah.
And so like I hadn't gotten a response after that, and I was like, well, I guess the only proper way to handle this is to just, have like, just instead of like getting people like all like seeming like they're arguing or anything like that, like just have, attorneys handle things or whatever. Because like I can't get my ex-bandmate involved. He refuses to this day to put me on the band royalties.
Yeah.
And has just financially exploited me, visually exploited me. Posted used to post completely like uncovered nipple naked photos of me on his Facebook because it would get more views and attention. Yeah. Even though I kept telling him not to do that, asking him not to do that.
Yeah.
He had no consent whatsoever.
No consent.
But I recently, even though I know it takes like a week or more, like the page says that it could take a while, so I'm just being patient. I did send a message to, to the label, like, not to other people, just to the label.
Yeah.
To be like, can I, please politely come in and talk about this. I'm the only one who has not profited from my art.
Yeah, and which you are rightly so. You need that. I mean, that's your. Did you guys sign, like, when you guys got signed to the Cleopatra? Was he already signed to Cleopatra before he brought you in, or was that
for a short period of time?
Okay, and so did you?
And then when I joined in, I signed Cleopatra contracts.
Yeah,
I signed many contracts, even with the even with Mooncoil Media. Their like he was a manager for a while.
Yeah.
He was totally cool, polite about it and whatnot, but like I was like, whatever they're doing right now, I can't be involved.
Yeah.
Like there's some seriously just like whatever that new band is doing, whatever my bandmate is doing, like I can't be involved in like just so many awful things that he's doing right now that like I don't consent to, for one thing, and I don't think half of what he's doing is even legal. So I
would think, I wonder if like you can like how much involved were you in the songwriting process? Like, in other words, let's say like the last album before everything went to hell on it, like how involved were you as far as like the lyrics, the coming up with their own vocal melodies and things like that? Were you pretty much 50/50?
When it came to lyrics and singing and vocal tones, me recording myself, all that kind of stuff, everything vocally of me is all me.
That's
All
you.
my
Okay.
lyrics.
Yeah. So technically, you are pretty much, I would say, 50%, if not more, of the songwriter, and you deserve that royalty. Like especially now with music streaming, like me, when I put my songs out on Spotify, iTunes, and stuff like that, and I have like a lyricist that I work with, because I'm not a very good lyricist, so I use a lyricist, and I put him at 50% because to where he can get 50% of any streaming royalties. It's not a lot, I mean, I think over the past 3 years, I made like maybe $100 in streaming royalties.
Oh, I know. It's like I'm not even worried about how much with the
Yeah,
money
like as far as
like
money
that. I
wise,
just want like,
you want, yeah,
equality and
yeah,
being
yeah,
respected that way
yeah,
and not being
exactly,
exploited.
yeah, exactly. Because even if, especially nowadays, if anyone's getting into music for the money, then you're in the wrong business. But you
Hmm.
definitely need the credit. You need that. You want your
Yes.
name on that music because that's what people are listening to, and then it's a sham for somebody to take full on credit. Like I've always been so against that. Like as an artist, and it's just like, you know, I believe in creative freedom. I believe in splitting everything 50. Even with Will
Yeah.
Wisp, it was like even though I wrote a lot of the music, or if Tony wrote a lot of the music, I still say okay, we all split it 50-50 because without the drums or without the bass or without this person's melody or my melody, it wouldn't be the song wouldn't be where it is.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
just be like whatever. But so I always felt like it was good to split everything 50-50, and because I mean, yeah, you definitely need to find some way to. I mean, do you have any kind of management at all or anything, or did you have management whatsoever?
Recently, there, Moon Coil Media, we
Mhm.
signed up with them for management right before the tour that he tried to take away from Luna 13 and steal over to his other projects.
Yeah,
So I never even got to do that tour.
yeah, yeah. Did he ever give you like at least statistics as far as like how much I guess like let's say the songs that are streaming and stuff or YouTube videos like the views? Does he at least let you know like what the numbers are, or did you like? Because I would imagine he would only have access to see that stuff if he wasn't cutting you in on the royalties.
Well, I would, back when I was living there,
Yeah.
I would see him open the Cleopatra checks that were only sent to him
Hmm.
and solely everything to him and be like, we need to go in and like talk to them about like having, it split so that, I can file things properly and, yeah, all that good stuff. Yet, he just kept finding excuses and timing of this, that, and the other until finally, like, I wasn't putting up with some serious, like, verbal and various other types of abuse to the point
Yeah.
where he just started absolutely flat out refusing to put me on the record label royalties. And that's why I was like, I can't involve him in the email to get this done. I
Yeah.
need to, if that's the only way, then I have to bring in an attorney rather than bringing him in because he doesn't even. He doesn't talk in any form of fair way. He just talks around everything and then
Yeah.
argues and then verbally abuses the ever living what out of me
Yeah.
until like the day is over.
I know his kind of. I've been around his type, and it's just like, yeah. I mean, it's like man.
Yeah, my left ear is still damaged from oh gosh, we were in a car on tour and I was just breaking down, just telling him to stop with
Mhm.
the verbal abuse. And
Yeah.
so he got like lips right to here and
Damn.
screamed as loud as he could to
You
the
hear
point where it actually damaged it.
Mm-hmm.
And that I have learned is a form of physical abuse, along with him trying to force my phone out of my hand.
Yeah, it is.
So like I guess his way of trying to like coercively cover that up was a boob job.
Okay, yeah.
It was like trying to use that to shut me up basically, but he didn't even give me time to heal after that.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't give me time to heal after, like, there was less than 2 weeks after the surgery and we were already doing our first show and getting on tour after that.
Mm.
My stitches got infected during the Christian Death tour.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and like, I mean, not to get, you know, too dark too fast, but like like he didn't even like he got me pregnant twice and forced me to have abortions for both. Did not give me any form of choice, timing, not even a time to feel or think.
Not only is he like not pro-choice, he's also not pro-life. You know what I mean? It's like
he's not pro anything other than himself.
Yeah, other than himself. Damn.
And he didn't give me time to heal after either one of those. And to try to utilize your diaphragm on stage, well, it feels like your guts have been melted out.
Especially singing the way you sing.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't exactly something that. Like, thankfully, I've had a chance to, like, you know, talk about this quite a bit in, like, therapy and, like, you know,
that's what I was gonna ask.
people that I trust. Otherwise, it'd be a mess. But, like,
I was going to ask, have you been able to get into therapy? Are you doing therapy now for it? Or?
I'm actually, like, of course, you know, I won't give, like, locations or names of or anything like that. But I've been in a couple domestic violence support groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, I mean, and you're not alone. I mean, it's, you know, as far as that happening. When did you, like, say you get into Luna 13? When did you notice the abuse kind of start? Like, was it did it just kind of come out of nowhere? Was it just kind of gradually progressing and?
Kind of a blur, because it was a bit of a gradual thing. Like when I look back at it, I realized that like it was more so he would like gradually try to see what he could get away with based off of how much control he could start building over my life.
Oh wow.
Like he had full financial control, like financially abused and just exploited the ever living, you know what, out of me. And then of course there's the reproductive abuse, the verbal abuse, the emotional, the spiritual abuse, the like just all of it. It's just like I remember having to write down a list of all the things that like I've read online of what is abuse, and like the list just kept getting longer and longer and longer, and so it was definitely like a gradual thing until like his narcissistic abuse mask finally fell towards the end. Yeah. And it just kept getting uglier and uglier and uglier until like, he pulled that rug out from underneath me while I was ready for that tour. Yeah.
And people like him, I guess they're, you know, obviously they're really, when they're abusive like that, they're really good at manipulating to where you makes you feel like you kind of have to stay in.
Keeping you absolutely exhausted, confused, and fogged the whole time.
Yeah, and that's the way they want you to have. That's the way they want you to be. That way they can keep the control. And it's like, sounds to me like this guy should be locked up, to tell you the truth. But have you ever tried that, or have you went down that road before?
Well, I'm still in the process of trying to sort all that out. It's definitely not easy, especially when you don't have like, you know, fresh physical wounds or bruises that the cops literally saw happen.
Yeah.
Like most cops just won't even do anything unless they're there to see you get hit, basically.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate to hear and see what a lot of people go through with that and trying to get any form of justice through any of this.
Yeah. So would you say your last show with them was you played with OTEP, right, recently?
Yeah.
How was that?
Like, I made sure that one could not be taken in any way, shape, or form. Like, I mean, since I was a teenager, she's been, you know, a major inspiration of mine. Total respect. Like, it was funny. Like, I got to say hi to her, like, backstage, but, like, I tried so hard not to, like, you know, like, you know, bother her time or anything like that. So
fangirl or whatever.
I just like I you know, focused on my work and focused on trying to do the best show I could despite what was going on, and like absolute respect. Loved her performance as well. Like and actually, funny enough, that show. Normally he would have me like plug into his equipment so that sometimes he could like try to like turn my voice up or down. I caught him many times like at the end just shutting it off so I couldn't even say goodnight to everybody.
Damn.
So what I did for this one was I talked to the sound tech and I was like, hey, I want to plug into the house. And he was like, oh yeah, cool, we'll get you set up and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then I guess I don't know what happened with, like, I guess he talked to Doc at some point during the setup and was like, so yeah, he's saying that you can't do that or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the sound text said, but he's like, you guys are gonna have to work this out. So I walked right up to him and I was like, I want to plug into the house.
Yeah.
And with an attitude, he's like, no, you can't. And I was like, yes, I can. And I turned to sound tech, nodded, and they plugged me into the house. And
Hell yeah.
that's that.
Heck yeah. Here's a clip from that show. It's the only one I found online, but here's a little clip of the show from OTEP. Let's check it out.
Seems a little garbled, but
Yeah. The sound was a little out. Yeah, it's like it was kind of like that on the YouTube, and I snagged it off there too. but you know, but the not only that, so I would imagine your vocals were going through the board at that time on that one, right, on that song. So you were able to go through the whole show with that, with your vocals going through the board. That's good. Hell yeah. So you took control right there. Hell yeah. And so as a performer, I mean, like you have such a natural like presence on stage. Was that something that you developed, or was that something you obviously like you kind of knew how to do before you got into Luna 13? Like, were you? Because I think didn't you say you did some dance or whatever?
Some dance and some like haunted house acting.
Yeah. Okay.
But I actually didn't develop I guess that level of confidence until let's see, probably a few like maybe 2 years into doing Luna 13.
Okay.
And then I mean I was in Luna 13 for over 8 years, maybe 9.
Yeah.
And so like that I like just gradually just kept like getting just like I found an absolute love and passion for it.
Yeah.
And a way of just kind of getting into rather than getting into my head or anything like that, getting into just how much I absolutely love being up there.
Yeah, you love the stage. I can tell you love the stage.
Comes through.
Yeah. I miss the stage myself. It's like it's been years since I've been thinking like I don't know at this point if I want to put together a band, and you know, especially with my day job and or you know being an alcohol and drug counselor, it's like I don't know if I want to. I don't think I could put 100% into it, and wouldn't be fair to like the band members if they said, hey, you know, maybe we can go on tour, and I was like, well, I can't go on tour unless it makes sense financially because I can't just leave my cat and everything alone, and you know, so that's why I prefer to just. I'm happy making the music on my own, and I think that's where I think you're going towards now. Like you got this freedom to now you can sort of reinvent yourself in a sense and take on a whole nother, like you could be you, and you have this freedom now that in a way it's kind of like a blessing that this happened in a way, I think, you know, because
like I do feel like I have far more freedom now because like I'm not constantly kept tired and fogged up by like there were like, you know, moments where I'm like, okay, I want to quit this, I want to quit that, like not music wise, but like certain substances and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want to do these things or anymore. And please don't have them around me. And he would come up with all these weird excuses of why he would just always set a new supply on the counter.
Damn, yeah. What was the main drug that you were addicted to?
Oh, I wouldn't necessarily say like
or not addicted, but like as far as overeating.
It was like I mean I'm totally like cool with you know medical marijuana usage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was like that, nicotine, like so many things that I was just like, you know what, I want to, you know, get healthier and clearer, especially once I realize that, like, you know, I've actually got like a lump or two going on that I'm trying to get checked out.
Oh yeah.
And like I was feeling like I was dying at one point. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I was like mummified on the inside, weak, tired all the time, because he didn't let me sleep with all the verbal abuse and stuff. So
Yeah.
like I just felt like I was being run into the ground, and like
Yeah.
like I was breaking down sobbing, telling him these things, and his response was just a cold, flat, I don't want to slow down.
Yeah.
Like absolutely no form of like care towards the fact that, like, hey, you know, your bandmate feels like they're dying and has lumps and stuff like that, like a, you know, breast lump among others. And so like I was just like, I want to, you know, get as healthy as possible for a while. And he wasn't listening. He just kept
kept you I mean, obviously he had to do that to keep his control over you, I would imagine, right? Like,
many ways, because I mean he had full financial control over absolutely everything. He had control over, you know, like whether or not I could take care of my cats, like everything. He found ways to just, like, you know, with me being, you know, tired and fogged up and stuff like that, he found ways to just like make sure that everything was within his control, and that, you know, if I didn't, like, you know, keep up with this, that, and the other, like I wouldn't even be able to see my cats.
I wonder where it comes from with people like that. I wonder if they're just so, like, are they so insecure with themselves that they feel like they have to have so much control over someone else that, like, in any chance of like that person wanting to break free, and it's like they lose their shit, like they're afraid, like what are they afraid of, like when they're like
right?
I never understood the psyche of it, you know.
I think it's when he realized that, like, him utilizing my image and my pictures and nude photos against my consent, and like it was getting him so much attention that, like, you know, he didn't want to lose that. Like, I mean, my face is all over the merch. He would never give me a cut of the merch.
Damn.
Yeah, we would go on tour and he'd be like, oh, well, this is all going towards this or going towards that, or I paid for this or I did that. And, well, yeah, because you have financial control over everything. But like, yeah.
Oh shoot! Like we lost you. Let's see if we can get her back in. See here. All right, hang tight, everyone. We got a technical difficulty. We're gonna play some Luna 13. This song is "Hear My Call."
Because
Here we go. We finally, technical difficulty there, but it happens.
Yeah.
We
Sorry about that.
cut to the video. Show must go on. Where did we leave off at? You were saying?
Possibly to do with him. Finding out that utilizing my image and everything. Like people have told me that this isn't anything that I've said, but people have told me that their words were that I made the band. So I really think that he felt that in a lot of ways, because that's how a lot of ways that it was getting attention. And so he felt that any form of losing control over me was gonna lose his fun ride in some sort of way. And so the abuse got uglier and uglier as I was not putting up with it. And that's I guess when he finally decided to pull the rug, because he wanted to he wanted to get the other project on a label and thought it would be massive to add me in as saying that I would be a lead or whatever. I don't care.
You want the bullshit the label just to
it's I don't want to be in a project with my ex and his new girlfriend. No, thank you. Especially not after what they pulled. Or the neglectful.
I mean, the fact that he has the audacity. The fact that he has the audacity, the way he transitioned the projects, the way he fucked you over like that, and then to say, "Hey, you want to come in and join the group?" It's
they wanted to make a new group of the three of us because he saw that that's what would most likely get things on a new label, and was even saying which label and stuff like that the manager was going to pitch it to and everything like that. And I'm like, no. Just no.
This guy's delusional, man.
When I went to go rescue my cats, I found them in such a state of neglect. It was animal abuse.
I saw that video that you posted on Instagram. It was pretty,
The thermostat was reading 94 at night.
Damn.
There were no fans on, and he was planning on being gone for the whole weekend. That's when I, figured it would be safe to go down and rescue them. But none of them had been brushed, or their stuff hadn't been cleaned since I had been there last, or was able to get over there last. Oh gosh, so many things. I even found out that they tried to put themselves as the primary and emergency contact on my cat's vet stuff.
Really?
And took my name off of it and stuff, and it was just. There's no way in hell that I'm trying to 3-piece with them.
And then you say he ended the prescription to one of your cats because your cat had that one condition which I've heard about that condition. It's mostly in male cats, right? That something crystallizes in their system or something that can kill them.
He's a male cat, and he the way that I even found out was because he was crying because he couldn't urinate. He had an infection and a crystal buildup as a young kitten, and he was just crying, and took him in and got him antibiotics, and thankfully it was fine. But if he's not regularly kept on that and not given him a bunch of random brands, you're really supposed to if you change any, or give them even another type of brand along with the medicine, you kind of have to gradually integrate that other brand, and he would often just get whatever along with what so there's a lot. There's just so many things that those cats should not have had to put up with. They I still remember Maggie, anytime that I really feel bad that they ever even had to hear the verbal abuse, but when he would just yell at me for hours and hours on end. There was one time where I was just curled up on the floor, hugging my knees, and and Maggie came up to me, bunting me to try to help me to stop crying. These cats should have never had to witness any of these things. or go through any of this. And so, like, I mean, I used to live there. I used to be on the lease and stuff like that. So I made sure to bring some mail that had my name on it. Just in case he decided to go back on his deal like he does with everything. And like I could go on for hours, if not days, about all the different stuff he's pulled. But like, when I went to go get them, I made sure to, you know, like I still had a key, but like I made sure to at least, you know, get some form of email consent so that there wouldn't be some form of him trying to pull anything. And thankfully he did that, but like he wanted something in return. And not good.
Well, good for you. Man, it's full, man. He's got like, he needs to be exposed. You're saying everything.
He still to this day refused to put me on the record label royalties because you know I wasn't putting up with this shit anymore, and still refuses to say that like I own any part of Luna 13, even though all those, that's my voice that he's using, that's my image that he's using.
I mean, it wouldn't be Luna 13 without you. Like, in other words, I would imagine you came in at the beginning of when he started this project, because it sounds like this guy just makes different projects, and obviously he needs particular people to be on that project with him. So if it's, and you're only two, and there's only two of you, so you know.
Yeah, it could have easily been, you know, 50-50, and I don't understand why the record label never did anything to even recognize that, even though like I was signing contracts and everything like that, yet somehow the royalty checks were just solely sent to him.
I wonder how Cleopatra works now, because I remember back in the day, you know, you get a record label, you get it in advance. Like when we were on the Full Moon Records, we got like a $10,000 advance. We used, you know, $3,000 to record the album, blew the rest of the money, and we asked them like, when are we going on tour? They're like, well, how much of that $10,000 you have left? We're like, nothing. Well, there's no tour. So, like, oh man, so you know, we just had like a lot of fun with it. But but I was wondering, like, does Cleopatra, did they give you guys in advance, or did they bring you like because I would imagine like because they're still going strong, I think, as a label, but the music industry's changed so much because of digital music that, you know, like as far as them putting out physical music and things like that, or even backing their artists, like are they even paying for like tours and stuff? Like how is he actually
it's very independent? Very independent. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Was this guy Doc Luna, was he always financially okay, or as far as like did he take care of a lot of the, I guess, out of pocket merchandise stuff or whatever? Is that why he thinks he owns most of it, or
he has
did he ever make you pay for stuff?
He has a business that is also quite centered towards lying to and exploiting women and not really wanting to work with men because they question what he does.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So this guy's a real piece of work.
Yeah, he tries to pull this whole like into goddess worship and stuff like that, but he has absolutely no respect for anything other than himself.
Yeah, is he like trying to be like a cult leader or something? In a way, kind of is, or
practically seems that way.
He's got the cult leader mentality, kind of.
There was quite the I would say spiritual abuse going on as well.
Yeah. Before Luna 13, like, were you ever into the Hollywood scene? Did you ever get into the goth scene? As far as like, back when I was there, it was like, you know, Bar Sinister, Helter Skelter, you know.
I was a quite a lonely and grew up in the middle of nowhere goth. Like,
okay. Yeah. Which is what you're supposed to be when you're goth, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Hesperia. I mean, it's like it was a very small town when I grew up out there.
I think I'm familiar
it's now starting to build up, but like, I would mostly keep to myself with my books, my cats, and art that I loved, and I definitely had some friends, but like, you know, I was like, I definitely loved the whole, you know.
So you weren't out like clubbing all the time, like on the weekends, or like how?
No, like actually, funny enough, that also like I wasn't such a social butterfly, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Like, that was more so like he would take me out places to parade me around because people wanted pictures with me.
Yeah.
It would get the band attention and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he noticed that like people would want pictures with me, so he'd take me places to parade me around. And
He like saw you as his meat and potatoes, I guess, in a way.
basically, like he would try to get me like anytime that like people were like hanging out with me, he'd be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
let me get a picture with you guys," or
Yeah.
"Oh, do you want a picture with her?" Or like if they wanted a picture with me, like try to give them like a card for the band and like
Yeah.
or try to mention the band or like, "Oh, tag the band," and like
Yeah.
I'm just like, at least let me just get to know people, like or
Mhm.
something. Like it got really really pushy, really uncomfortable. But I actually do enjoy going out to shows.
Mhm.
Like I would go out to concerts and shows whenever I could.
Okay.
I do like going to the goth clubs, like to see my friends and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I made a lot of cool friends out there. Like I love West Hollywood, love WeHo. Like
Yeah.
it's this like actually WeHo especially is where I felt the safest walking around, going for
Yeah.
walks.
Yeah.
Like absolutely love it out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to love it too. Like, and then I moved to the valley after a while, and it was like I was kind of like, well, that was also into drugs and alcohol, mostly a lot of drugs. So I was kind of like living a kind of a bit of a dangerous life, hanging out with some of the gangbangers and stuff in Van Nuys, and so yeah, I went down some pretty bad paths. But I remember like when I lived in Hollywood, it was just like I just felt I could walk around with my makeup on and not and not feel bothered or anything by anybody, yeah, it's just you fit in because. And then the goth clubs were cool. I like Bar Sinister a lot, but I felt like Bar Sinister started getting kind of like hipsterish or whatever there towards the end, or before I stopped going there. Because I was when I first got to Hollywood, it was like Helter Skelter and those kind of clubs. London After Midnight. When I first discovered that band, I was like, okay, this is cool. It's 'cause before that, I was more like kind of glam, like red lipstick and eyeshadow. But then I remember seeing me and Tony were living in our car at the time. We just moved to Hollywood, and I seen a flyer of London After Midnight, and black lipstick and stuff. I go, you know what? I'm gonna try the black lipstick. We're gonna go for this, and then that's where we kind of got more darker looking with the eyebrows and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, having fun with your look. That's always great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just like slugging it out, trying to, make a name on the strip and all. We got to right before the Sunset Strip kind of died out, like when Nirvana hit around '92 or whatever, and they always say like that was like the Big Bang or whatever that just wiped out everybody, the grunge movement, And but we had at least a good year, 2 years having fun on the Sunset Strip, and
Yeah.
let's see. As far as your look, because I got some photos here. This is like just an amazing look. I mean, this is like it could transcend into so many different mediums of entertainment, whether it's like comic books, movies, music, obviously, and this is your look. This is something that he can't take from you, right?
Yeah, I made that.
Yeah.
I took
walk me through that process. How do you make something like this?
I took some like sometimes like I took an original corset, but like I sewed a bunch of faux leather, like fake leather all over it, and the horns, like, and added like spiked studs to it, and like made the headdress part so that it would fit into my hair, like so that like made sure that it fit my exact head so that it would stay put while I was performing. Like the makeup, I started playing around with some different looks with some of the tours because like I felt like give each show its own something special.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, the like especially like when it would come down to making sure that I was at least beach bikini style, like at least covered to that extent because performing like like at least keep things bikini level, like
just
keeping
enough,
keeping the girls covered at the right points and all that good stuff. But like oh gosh, yeah, I would put together so much of that, but like the like the visual performance that went along with the songs would be descriptive of the songs and also be
Yeah.
an artistic protest to various things. And
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
and like, I mean, heck, even the whole chewing on a fake fetus
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of
on
that.
stage was definitely something to help visually protest and you know, artistically protest, and like also work through a lot of my own personal stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I hadn't even told anybody about the level of like what had gone down with the whole like, I mean, I'm pro-choice.
Yeah.
To not have been given that choice and had that choice taken away from me, like, that's not okay.
Was that with
for
the baby
anybody.
fetus, eating the baby fetus? Was that kind of like your way of protesting that what happened to you?
That, and amongst like what other people go through.
What other people go through? Yeah,
there's a lot of reproductive abuse out there. There's a lot of like, I mean, some people have gone through forced sterilization. It's absolutely horrendous what's going on with like trying to control people's bodies.
Yeah.
And
I think it's such a big mistake when we have this whole thing with Roe versus Wade being overturned, and like you hear them all say, "Well, we want the states to decide." Okay, but if the states are like totally pro-life, then they're going to decide for the women.
It should be up to the
defeats the purpose of
bodily autonomy, totally for autonomy. Like, it's even in some of the lyrics. It's that whole moment, and you know, the way that like I would do the blood routines and everything like that. It was all very much about all that. About bodily autonomy and the freedom to choose and all that.
Yeah. You said something in a post which I thought was really cool. Like there's when you were talking about how he would always exploit you and use your nude photos without your consent, and
and also because of me trying to say like, hey, what the heck with them stealing the tour from Luna 13, like he decided to well, at least he admitted to the threat of violence within the post. So thankfully a friend screenshotted that after I'd already blocked him and saved that for me, because like he had posted a photo of me when I was pregnant on stage.
Oh damn.
And didn't tell the truth of exactly how everything happened, but you know, he outed me for an abortion that was quite late into the pregnancy, to the point where...
So in other words, you were like showing, and then he still made you do the... Wow.
And showed the photos of me on stage like that, and outed me for all of that. Like my family like sees stuff like that, and so like...
What does your family say about all this? Like, or do they know?
I haven't even tried to talk to them about that. Like, they haven't mentioned anything about it. It's
they just
me and my family. It's kind of a some are pro-choice, some are pro-life, some are like it's very much
very mixed opinions.
It's very difficult to get around how to talk about exactly how I guess we're gonna handle this in the future. Or how I'm gonna even feel, or you know, being around, hanging out with them, like with that, like some elephant in the room or whatever goes down. Like it was really not okay for him to do that. And
it wasn't. It's not. I mean, like I said, I mean, this guy sounds already needs to be locked up. I mean, he needs to be.
Yeah, it was a very defamation kind of post, and yet like people like thankfully people could see what was so wrong about that post. And you know, at least he admitted to, you know, the moment where he said that, you know, if I ever, well, actually this his new girlfriend, bandmate, new victim, whatever.
New victim, yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah,
Like
future victim.
he like this person used to be the photographer and then used to be the cat sitter.
Okay.
And then while we were,
So you
on
knew her
tour,
before. You knew her before, right? Okay.
yeah, and then while we were on tour, like while we were playing in Mexico, like I had to literally record him going on and on for over an hour in different ways
Hmm.
about like I had asked him, like I had said that I need to be able to contact the cat's babysitter in case of an emergency.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not letting you talk to her, like and if you ever talk to her the way you talk to me, or if you talk to me the way you do around her, then she's gonna knock you out, beat you up, always punch you, all this kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
have every right to, supposedly. And like, no.
Like, what planet does someone have the right to do that?
Yeah. It's
Wow.
like, a whole lot of hell no. And I have a right to know what's going on with my cats.
Exactly. Yeah. Those are your babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I imagine you at some point, obviously you got a lot to deal with, but at some point you're going to get back into producing or making new music. Where do you see yourself going musically, and how different will it be from what you did with Luna 13? Like, do you have ideas already as far as where you want to go with it? Because I
I
think the
feel
sky's the limit with the way you are, just as a performer, even, you know.
I feel that now I'm gonna be able to, you know, play around with some different types of art mediums, yet
Yeah. Hmm.
also still do something that is very much like the way that I wrote lyrics,
Yeah.
the way that I screamed them, sang them, all that kind of stuff,
Hmm.
still me.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to be me
Exactly.
in my solo kind of career, and yet also still get to play around with things that like
Hmm.
that were given all kinds of shit before. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, still get to be myself, yet get to show all the different pieces of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you're just like one big body of art where there's music and performance and visual. I mean, it's you. You're expressing you, and that's the best you can
And I
be.
did all the choreography,
Did all the
like
choreography.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's so weird that this guy would just like, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to change the name of the band, but still keep the kind of same, I guess, music in a sense or whatever. It's like usually if like someone goes solo, they try to do something different than the band that they were in. They don't like. Otherwise, what's the point of doing a solo project or a different project if it's going to be the same thing? You're just slapping a different name on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, actually,
Doesn't seem
it's
like
not
very.
even it's not even like I don't even know what they're like originally that other project was like supposedly supposed to be something different, yet it was so much a cookie cutter version,
Yeah.
just different type of the same mask.
Well, like
And like a lot of it was just very much
I
cookie
was doing
cutter
some.
duo thing. And
Well,
so
I was doing some research and I just clicked on some of their more recent stuff that they've done, and it's the same stuff. It's almost like there's like nothing really different. It's just except for it misses you, which is the performance. You got this girl just kind of standing in one spot with her face covered, and it's like okay,
yeah,
you know,
one thing that they just better not be doing is using any of the Luna 13 songs,
yeah, yeah.
because that would definitely be
I'll have to
an
check because I'm
issue.
not fully familiar with the total catalog yet. Because I just got into you guys, or at least Learning 13 earlier this year, so and I haven't got a chance to delve into the full catalog. But yeah, I mean, it's like I wonder if they are using. I'll have to check that out and explore.
Yeah,
Because you did how many albums with them as far as Lunar 13? I'm looking on Spotify. There's like quite a bit of albums. Like
yeah,
because you said you
like,
were in it for like 8, 9 years or something like that.
yep, yep, yep.
And
Like
Gorgo.
ever since like as early on, like I started in 2015.
Okay.
So as early on as you see my face plastered across the
Yeah.
album, those are me.
Okay. And I was going to ask you about this, like this symbol here. Like,
That
did you make that
was
yourself, or is that you, or is that
he took
artist?
that from putting together various things in a way that was supposed to look like me.
Oh yeah. But I was just wondering if like that's something you can own yourself, like if
No, and technically I wouldn't want to
okay, yeah.
because it's not even like
Mm-hmm.
it's not even made that well. You can tell there's like
Oh
some
yeah.
issues with like how certain things overlap other things.
Oh yeah. I see that. I mean, it's kind of a cool looking symbol. But yeah, if you own that yourself, it could be a cool brand. But yeah, you could definitely come up with something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
I'm cool with starting my own thing, but still
Yeah.
being myself and still getting to show all
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
things about myself that I wasn't able to show
Mm-hmm.
in
I saw a picture where
in
you're posing with a guitar. So do you play a little guitar? I saw you posing with that yeah, that
Oh,
acoustic guitar. Can you?
I've been learning from well, originally I I grew up with my dad's a music teacher,
Okay.
and he originally was very much a guitar player, and so I got to I got to listen a lot as a kid and play around on like bass guitar and stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
like I wanted to I wanted to expand that and learn like acoustic, electric, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So um, I have been starting to
Play a little bit more. Yeah.
dabble into that because like I'm more so know more about piano, about clarinet, about violin.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah, very
amazing.
orchestra kid.
Yeah, like if you already know like piano and violin, it shouldn't be hard for you to pick up the guitar. The main thing about the guitar, and I could even show you teach you some lessons every now and then if you ever want to. But
Yeah.
learning the basics, I mean, it's like that's all you really need to learn to write some really good songs. Like you
Oh
don't.
yeah, and then just practice, practice, practice,
Yeah,
practice.
practice. As long as you can fret the note and make a sound out of it, then you just learn your basic chords, and then your melodies. Whatever. If you said you could sing clean, so it's always good to
Yeah.
practice singing to the notes that you're playing on the guitar, and then you kind of learn. And create new melodies because that's really a good song is all about the melody. Whether it's even if it's a song that's sung with guttural vocals, it's the way it's phrased and the way it's like that video we were just playing earlier. That was what was it called? Uh,
Hear my call?
yeah, Here my call. The chorus part. It's like the way you phrase the vocals there is just it's perfect. I mean, you're not hearing like a full on melody, but you're hearing the way it's phrased and it's the hook. It made the hook. So
Oh yeah, and
and
then like if you get a chance to hear the Monroe of the Dead Resurrected, there's definitely me singing
okay.
in that without growling and also with growling, of course.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to hear your clean vocals.
I definitely did a lot of playing around with clean vocals in my own spare time that I want to bring into like my own work here in the future.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to give him that because he wasn't even paying me for the work that I was doing.
Yeah.
I was seeing the money come in.
Damn.
So I was like, I want freedom to control my own voice.
Yeah. What about as far as recording new music? Do you have access to be able to get into a studio, or do you have like recording software? Do you know how to use all that? I'm just learning how to use.
Oh, I know how to use all of it, and
Okay, cool.
like I had equipment that unfortunately I've had to leave a lot of things behind in the escape.
Yeah.
And just get mostly like my cat's essentials. Because I mean they are my babies. Like stuff can be replaced, lives cannot, and their lives, their feeling lives, their beings, they have.
I don't even call like when people say, "Oh, you put about your pet," I say, "She's not a pet. She's my daughter."
Exactly.
She's my kid. Like it's a kid I never had. I'll never have a kid like her. She's not a pet.
Yeah.
Pet's a goldfish or something. Like maybe my hamster could be a pet.
It's like animals. Like I don't think in any way that they should ever be considered property. They're living beings.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah, they're feeling, they're living, they're thinking, they're and very much plotting sometimes.
Yes, very. They always say like What if our cats are like plotting to kill us? You know?
Oh, I've seen that book. It's adorable.
Yeah.
How to tell if your cat is plotting to kill you, or
Trying to make
something
me
like
look
that.
at Tamron a little bit different. Like, oh, are you sure that you're squinting at me because you're showing affection, or is it because you're plotting to kill me?
Yeah, Ash was very much trying to like he tends to get like worried if I'm getting done up and stuff like that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
are you leaving? I'm gonna try to make sure that you're
Yeah.
not gonna leave me right now, because like he probably has separation anxiety after everything that happens. Like,
Yeah, my cat's like that too. Like she can't stand me being gone more than like when I go to work and I come home, I guess she must hear me coming up the apartment stairs because I open the door and her face is glued to the door like meow meow meow, and she's just totally cussing me out when I get in. Like, where were you? She just follows me around the house.
You're supposed to be home by this time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't go anywhere because I have like family I should be visiting like in California, but I can't leave 2 days or whatever. Even if like I have a friend that could cat sit for me, but I even feel bad doing that because then I feel like she's still gonna think I'm abandoning her or something. Like I don't know, I have that feeling that she thinks I'm gonna like maybe because she doesn't see me there because she sleeps with me and she follows me around the house. Yeah, so I'm always kind of free, and I think a lot of it too. Like we kind of tend to project our emotions onto our animals to where we think that's what they think, but at the same time, it's like I know they do think that, but just in different ways.
Oh, they very much like my my cat Maggie. Like she's very much like an emotional support cat. Like if I'm crying or if I'm upset, she comes up and starts bunting me to distract me from it, and to like have me pet her and cheer her up or be cheered up and stuff. And like when I was going through the first escape attempt, but still coming back to like record vocals and try to keep the band going, even though I wasn't with him anymore. Like and trying to like get on my feet so that I could bring them out of there and stuff like that. Like I would often even go over there to record vocals and extend the time as an excuse to clean their blankets, clean their water dishes, take care of them, and give them love. And there was a time that I was there that I actually saw tears running down Maggie's face.
Dang.
Right before I left, and it's like I've never seen Kat's eyes water before, but she had like full on tears just running down her face.
I'm so glad you got him back.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like they've been very much trying to get as much attention as possible, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, like when you do get situated where you start recording it, I would like to have you collaborate with me on a couple of songs. I would love to have your vocals on a couple of songs that I write, and you'll get paid for it, and you'll get credit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's I am very much being more on top of now, because I mean I was young when like I was even like I was just volunteering at a haunted house when I was like just barely turning 24, and I'm 33 now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And like I was just finishing my phlebotomy certification, finished my externship at a local clinic, and they like I was at like a friend's birthday party where I met him.
Yeah.
And at first I was just thought I was just taking on like simple side gig kind of thing while I was looking for phlebotomy work.
Yeah.
And it just all pretty much turned into just.
Did you answer an ad, or did he just like meet you like at the haunted house or something and say, "Hey"?
He met me at the friend's birthday party.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And from there, it was like I sent in like an audition letter to take on doing Luna 13 as a side gig.
Yeah.
And from there, like it just the more he saw what he could utilize of me and what kind of attention it brought, the more it became.
I see. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I absolutely love every part of performing and meeting the people who come to shows.
Yeah.
Love like when I'm at the merch table talking to everybody and like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Like when people ask me to sign stuff, it is such an honor.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely I'm floored when that happens, and like I love interacting with everybody and like seeing how excited and happy they get about various things. And
Yeah.
like,
It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, the one time a woman came up to me and said that the whole fetus scene was like the most cathartic thing she had seen in a long time. Like it hit me right here. Like,
Wow.
it really did. And
that's the thing, is if when you could touch like one person, you made it. Like, you know, when they say, "Oh, you never really made it," you know, you're not a rock star, whatever. It's like, well, when you think about it, like, regardless of how big your fan base was or how many people you played in front of, if there's one person that you actually affected in a way with your music or your performance or whatever, you made it. Like, to me, that's making it. Like, you know,
yeah.
you know, there's somebody that's outside your friends and the family that's going to tell you, "Oh, you guys are great," or this and that. But you made it someone else that you don't even know, like a stranger that just came to your show, and you made something. You know, you made them feel something, and that, to me, that's what making it is. You know.
And touring with like all the bands, like that was an awesome experience.
We have something in common. You toured with Christian Death, and we actually played with Christian Death in the early '90s. We just played at the Roxy with them one time, with the Valor, you know, Christian Death, and you toured with them recently, like last year, right? And,
oh yeah.
So let me ask you this question: are you pro Valor or pro Roz? There's always this competition between fans.
I don't take sides with all that. Like,
I like them both, but I'm kind of more of a Valor guy, just because that was the first time I got into Christian Death, was on that album, All the Love, All the Hate, when you had the son that had the song "I Hate You," and he's like that little kid singing that song, and then I learned about Roz Williams after this, like, you know, late '80s or whatever. And,
yeah, I feel like
I think musically Valor kind of takes it in kind of a cool direction, but
in a lot of ways I feel like I'm I guess a bit young in all this to even take sides. Like everybody's doing their own thing and stuff like that. Like even with the other project that's going on, like I'm not even trying to mess with that. It's like I want to do my own thing. I want to.
Was Valor cool? Did you hang out with him at all, or get to meet him?
Oh yeah, he was cool. Major was cool. Like it was fun backstage. Like there was oh gosh, so many.
And they tour constantly too. Like I remember back then, Valor told us, "Yeah, we're a family. We're like gypsies. We just stay on the road like 300 days a year." And I'm like, "Wow."
That's pretty much the way Luna 13 was too.
Yeah. It's like a traveling road show.
any show was definitely booked, and I mean, I loved touring life, and it was just dealing with my bandmate that was a nightmare.
Yeah. It's like, so I'm glad you get to do it like on your own now. Like I said, now you just be yourself and be who you want to be, and you like I said, you were the show, so you can.
Oh yeah, writing vocals. They're recording vocals, singing them, screaming them on stage, like doing the choreography, like making the outfits, like preparing my props before and after shows, like just absolutely all of it. Like I certainly found a love for this art form.
Can you see yourself putting together a band like where you know, with an actual, like a real drummer and a real bass player and a real guitar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can see you fronting like a really cool band like that. Yeah.
Because like especially growing up as like, you know, like an orchestra and even marching band kid, like I mean I love all instruments. Like I definitely I'm not just partial to the whole electronic world.
Yeah. What's cool is you can actually incorporate like a lot of your like flute and stuff into your music, a lot of those kind of instruments. I mean, because why not? You know, if you could play it and if you create a good melody out of it, you know.
Yeah, if it fits a song, I could possibly even, you know, bring in the clarinet if I wanted to.
Yeah, most people just use samples. Like, oh, let's use the sample. Like, no, you play the real thing. But yeah, it's amazing. Hey, let's check out this video. This was like was this one of the last videos you did with Luna 13 called Dig?
That was certainly one of them. I'm trying to remember which was the most recent before all this went down.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to look at the years.
I think this was the one when I first heard the name and looked up on YouTube. This was the first video I saw. Check it out here.
Nice.
how many looks did you have? Like you know,
There's actually an actress in the
was that you in with the
coffin
long
there.
claws, or in the
Oh, that's
coffin
me
was
with
an
the claws. Like
yeah, that was
I
you with the
made
claws,
that whole look,
yeah,
but
because like
actually the music video
I was
was
gonna ask you like who produced
filmed
that?
and done all by Rick Spocker.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like kind of a big budget video, or like did you guys was it the label obviously would have paid for that? Was that actually when you guys were on Cleopatra or no?
Well, like even when it came to music videos and stuff, like very independent. Like
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
very much like the videos were
Obviously,
put
you got a guy that
together
knows how to do all that stuff, all
by
the
the
effects.
band's own work.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty badass. And then like obviously, like I said, did you ever get into acting at all? Because it seems like you have some kind of acting skills as far as natural acting.
When it came to that year-round haunted house and like one movie and several music videos of like various other bands and some
Okay.
friends bands and stuff like that, I did some extra stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
But like I haven't done any major acting yet.
Yeah. Okay. But you definitely got a natural for it. So yeah. Hollywood's gonna love you. You're gonna be big. Lights in the sky. What about as far as I know you say you're a witch, right? So
Yeah.
all right. What about as far as like your view on Satanism? Like, do you consider yourself a Satanist, or what is your view? Like, like a satanic temple versus the Church of Satan. I know there's this kind of a difference between the two. You know.
When it comes to all that, I also don't take sides of either one, because
I'm the
one's
same way.
atheist, the other's not, and like
Yeah.
for me, I consider myself a witch that is very much like kind of, I guess, like my own thing, like
Yeah.
yet incorporates and respects bringing in like
Mhm.
the whole
Yeah.
satanicness, and
Mhm.
everything's like very much more about like the energy, the meditation, the nature, the respect for life and death, like
Mhm.
and so I wouldn't necessarily call myself like specifically a satanic witch.
Yeah.
Yet, I totally, respect bringing in a lot of that kind of stuff. Yet, more so lean towards Lilith.
Okay.
I would say when it comes to like respecting, an archetype to focus and meditate on and
Mhm.
learn from.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a card-carrying member of the Satanic Temple, but I don't belong to the club. I'm just like I loved a lot of the views and the philosophies of it.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
I've just never been into like joining clubs. Like like even when I got sober, it wasn't like I
Same.
couldn't really do AA because it was like I felt like I was part of some kind of club. It's like, well, I'm just sober. I'm getting sober and I'm doing it. Like, and with Satanism, I probably live a lot of the kind of philosophies that they talk about in their the tenets, or there's the seven tenets, and it's just the way I live my life. It's like
Yeah.
we make mistakes, we hold ourselves accountable.
Mhm.
We love nature, we love animals, and we love But when people hear the word Satanism, they're like, "Well, they devil worshippers and something." It's like you always got to defend that shit. Like,
Definitely.
like most
some
crimes
people
and
be
most
like, oh, sacrifices, this and that. Like, I
yeah
make my own sacrifices, but I don't sacrifice anybody else's.
yeah.
life.
There's like there's no like hurting people or animals or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I never hurt animals.
There's
Never.
people
Like,
who
I mean,
do
I think.
that. Yeah, there's people who do that under the name of Satan or whatever, but they're obviously idiots, or they're like mentally ill in some weird way or whatever.
Yeah, it's like my own like way of like making sacrifices is like sacrificing like a thing that I would want or something like that, an object, like not never harming an animal, totally vegan for the animals and the planet and all that good stuff. But I try to be more so plant-based vegan, but I love junk food.
Yeah, me too. I gained so much weight after like I stopped drinking and doing meth. It's like part of me misses my meth body. It's like back in the day I was like all super skinny and stuff. Well, my drummer, he's always like kind of like, because Tony, and this is not like I'm not saying that he's the reason why I did meth, But it did feel good to like, because he'd always like kind of make fun of me, like he'd be like, "Yo, dude, you're getting a little bit chubby, man. You need to like, because I'm always like, because he's always on fit, he's like disciplined on doing the sit-ups and stuff like that, and I was always kind of a little jealous of that. And then I was just kind of more carefree, drinking and stuff like that. And if I got like a little bit of fat, he'd always like kind of make fun of me and made me feel self-conscious, So so when I was doing the meth, I was always happy to be able to look in the mirror and say, like, yeah, now he can't fuck with me anymore, like I'm skinny, just like but so yeah.
Oh yeah, never about weight shaming at all.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's body is different and should be respected.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember you posted something about that. That's why I kind of related to that, because like you said that Doc used to do that with you, right? Like he used to.
Yeah, he'd find weird ways to make me very self-conscious about either how skinny I was or all those kinds of things, to the point where it stressed me out. And he always kept me like stressed about like everything that was going on, to the point where like even when I was like I would make a meal and sit there and try to eat, he'd be arguing with me about something, to the point where like you have to respond, or like you get distracted, or you lose your appetite, or this or that or the other, or like the food goes bad by the time he's done like berating you for hours on end. And like I ended up losing a lot of weight, and like it really it started really kind of really messing my head up, because like I mean, I don't try to control my weight. I'm totally all about not weight shaming in any kind of way, shape, or form, whether skinny or any weight whatsoever. It's like, I mean, I love it when I have like more of my curvature, like I mean, or even when I'm skinny, or even before the boob job. Like I mean, I was very, very much happy with my body in so many ways. Yet the stress of everything that went down, like I ended up losing even what kind of chest I had, and started getting self-conscious about that. And I guess he sort of preyed on that with the whole like offering the boob job thing. But like that was a confusing moment and confusing time. But like,
I can imagine.
It was kind of one of those moments of like, well, you know what, you're not paying me for anything that I'm doing. Like you're forcing me through abortions, you're putting my cats through hell, you're doing this, you're doing that, like fine, get me a boob job. I'll see if it's any fun for a bit, and if I like it or not, or like
You think surviving all this made you stronger today?
I believe so. Like I mean, honestly, after going through the reproductive abuse, and the spiritual abuse and all that kind of stuff, like the constant berating and stuff, and the way you would like drive angry and like not like, there was a point where like I even like threatened to roll out of the car while it was moving.
Dang.
Just to get away from it.
Yeah.
Like I had the door open and I was
You're
like
really,
I was looking at the road, seeing how fast it was moving, and if I would make it.
Like you're willing to make that sacrifice, like we were talking earlier about saying a sacrifice.
So like I've actually noticed that like I don't even get nervous if the room is completely pitch black anymore. Like no fear of the dark. Like I definitely believe that like as much as I was brave before in various ways, like it's like what could possibly scare me now? I mean, the person that I unfortunately there was two relationships that I was in for a few years before all this in Indiana. That when I was doing like a music promotion kind of company, like we were just helping put together shows and promoting bands and put on a podcast and talked about them and stuff.
That's good.
And like when I was doing that, there was like this guy who threatened to kill me with the car. Like he was like saying that he was going to pull it into oncoming traffic, and actually like railed it into the an iron fence, and then started speeding off into the freeway. And So like between trying to manage, getting him to stop and then being in a physically abusive relationship where like I'm pulling my lip or wiggling my lip off of my tooth because my tooth was completely wedged into it from his elbow.
Wow.
Like he would use he had like this like thing for like knives and katanas and stuff like that to like, keep me, nervous and whatnot. Like he was very physically abusive and restrainative and like he would use his like Muay Thai occasional practice against me, pinning me and stuff. Like like he at one point held a 7-inch serrated hunting knife in front of me, saying like, don't fuck with me and stuff like that, like right in front of me.
Damn.
And so like I honestly think that like whatever kind of bravery I had before, like now I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it just made you super, like fuck, bring it on, right?
Yeah, it's like, you know what, like I've survived.
Bring it on, motherfuckers!
Bitches, like bring it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, you're a trooper. Oh, yeah, I see big things for you. You got a fan in me and a friend in me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, what are we going, like an hour and a half here?
Yeah, about.
That's good. I think you're a lot of what you talk about too is, somebody who's out there watching this is going to help a lot. People. I don't know if you, and I think you'll get to that point, which if you're not there already, where telling your story and helping people, it also helps you even more. Like me, like when I talk about my addiction to a lot of my clients, even though it helps them to feel comfortable, like, wow, he walked in my shoes, he walked in the same shoes I'm walking in now. At the same time, it's like it helps me even further with my recovery, to like
same.
sort of, it makes me feel like I still have this,
Yeah. Like every time that like somebody sends me a message telling me that like, what I'm talking about is like really helping them or helping other people.
Yeah.
Like I really do feel like that also helps me like not feel, well, for one, not feel, alone. Cause like, I mean, the groups that I'm in and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff, like knowing so many people already who have been through like different types of or very similar types of or the same type of abuse, like it really like
it's powerful.
Like seeing people like being helped from that or saying that they've been helped from it or seeing other people speak up and stuff like that, like it really also helps me in a lot of ways.
It does,
yeah.
Takes you back to that moment when you had with that fan with the baby and the cathartic. So it's like, so I can imagine like your next venture in music and your project, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be like, it's gonna have all that in it, to where you're just gonna continue to just, show you and who you are and your truth and live your truth and help people find their ways, So
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, like for me, art has always been like a healing or like an escape or like a meditation that helps me through things, process things, like and like listening to other people's music and seeing other people's art, like it's always like helped change my life in so many ways that like if anything, like I just really hope that like as absolute hell as like a lot of this has sounded like it's, or like the absolute hell I've seen or heard other people go through, like I just hope that that we can all continue to find what helps us through our art.
Continue to grow, and every day above ground is that opportunity to do that. Every day that we're above ground, because we're not promised tomorrow. But should we get it? Got to make it rock. No doubt. It's been a pleasure. I think we said everything we need to say, right? And
if not, we can touch back on it another time.
Yeah, I want you to know this is anything like say you got something coming up and need projects, you know, when you are getting into your music and stuff, that you got a platform here, you know, and anytime you want to come on and talk, and this is your home for that.
Oh yeah, no, it's been awesome. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for like being so candid, and like, and again, I hope this resonates with a lot of people. It's a you know, hurting and healing at the same time. You know, it's a cycle that we need to go through, hurt and heal. You know, and, yeah, very cool. So Lilith Bathory, horns up, and peace out. All right, everyone, we're gonna end the show with a Luna 13 video, and this is called Devil's Wrath.
The souls of the untamed, dancing around the flame, basking in the full moon's glow. No fears of devils or religious woes, embracing demons on a path forged by fire, brave in the face of any funeral pyre.